Try to explain that to somebody.
Hand wax?
Because, yeah, that was my biggie for a while.
Yep.
Now I only break it out when I really need to.
Ooh, it is potent.
I do use it a lot, but mostly when I'm watching something on my phone.
Yep.
So if you're watching us on your phone, we're better when we look small. It's better that way. Like, subscribe, and follow if you would. Just make sure you hit the like thing, always. For some reason, the folks think that's cool.
Yes, it does help us.
So you like, subscribe, you follow.
Mm-hmm.
You can comment wherever you're watching or listening to this.
Yep.
Or if you have a longer missive, say something in the form of a question, comment, conundrum, or snark. Maybe a story you want to share with us. Email. Well, you could snail mail it, and I will give you Scott's address if you want it.
I'm speaking my native language, the language of my people.
Gibberish?
Yes.
TITR at netradio.network.
This is true, really news with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
This from UPI via Jessica Thompson.
Miss Jessica.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Good heavens.
I was late to the party again.
Well, you didn't make it to rehearsal this morning.
Do we have one?
I thought we did. Don't we always schedule them and just never show up?
Sure.
Lexington resident Holly LaFavors said on social media she was shocked.
Shocked, I say.
To discover 30 cases of Dum Dums lollipops on her doorstep.
I love those things.
Each containing 2,340 pieces of candy.
How many would she find? How many?
Well, 30 cases, each containing 2,340 pieces.
That's a lot of Dum Dums.
30 times 2,340 equals either 58 or 70,200 Dum Dums.
I'm going to go with 58.
Yep, me too. LaFavor's son, Liam, who is
Liam LaFavor?
Oh, I know.
Is his middle name Lawrence?
Liam Lawrence LaFavor, who's in second grade, admitted he'd placed an order for suckers while playing with mom's phone during the weekend.
I believe this falls under the category of whoopsie.
Each case of the Dum Dums, cases of them, retails for $130, making Liam's total purchase about $4,200. Amazon initially agreed to allow LaFavors to return 8 of the 30 cases. So she started attempting to sell the others to friends and neighbors. I had to send that kid around. My mom's raising money to have me sold to Bedouins. Would you buy some Dum Dums?
Hey, if you can give them any kind of discount, I know pizza pubs, the ones that pizza pub around here always they put a bunch of them in when you pay your bill.
Yep. Anyway, she later said in an update that after a long day of working with the bank and talking to a few news stations, Amazon contacted her. And guess what they did, Tony?
They'll take them all back?
Yes, they'll take them all back.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Amazon will do anything if they figure they're going to get really bad press.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone that offered to buy a box to help us, she wrote. I will be happy to get you what you ordered or donate them to a charity of your choice. Jessica says, this is our Jessica, says, this seems like a wise investment to me.
Yeah. I don't know what could go wrong with that.
Yeah, well, you know,
trust me, if you kept them all, they get eaten.
Yeah, well, you keep Dum Dums around, Dum Dums will dummy up pretty fast.
They disappear.
Yeah.
They don't procreate, so we're okay.
Yeah. And when do they go bad?
You know, the worst part is when you get down to that
honey.
last, I don't know, 1,500 or so, you start to worry where your next fix is coming from. But
you know, my favorite ones are the blue raspberry.
Really?
Yeah,
I like the not caramel, it's that butterscotch one.
Oh,
There aren't many ever in a bag. I know
Okay.
this because my granddaughter works at Pizza Pub and they give them to you when you leave.
Yep.
So she'll grab a handful. Did you find any? I don't know, Grandpa. I just grabbed them. Okay, fine.
All right, fine, whatever.
If you saw this picture, you know it was. It's why I think people watch speedboat racing. A speedboat went airborne, did a complete backflip while racing at about 200 miles an hour.
Oh.
Before crashing into an Arizona lake.
And that's a slap. Holy Pete.
Apparently, I don't care what you're doing at 200 miles an hour. That's going to wake you
It's
up.
like
Two
hitting concrete.
2 races inside the boat's covered cabin survived the event. If you were measuring, the boat went over 30 feet in the air. The duo were harnessed in. They had helmets. Said, we're a little banged up, but we're okay, according to a social media post on Facebook by the Freedom One racing team. The crash took place on a 3/4-mile course at an annual speedboat race.
Okay.
The flying boat still... The flying boat still managed to cross the finish line and win the contest by registering a top speed of 200.1 miles per hour, according to Speedboat Magazine's publisher, Ray Lee.
They
said
flew past
twin
the
hull-
camera.
It's like, there's that finish line that goes all the way up to infinity. And once you go through that,
You're
like
through.
the goal line in football.
Oh, that's
Lee
funny.
said the twin hull skater boat's designed to rise up and hydroplane across the surface of the water.
Yeah, they
The
are.
windy conditions and propeller adjustments called trims likely contributed to the boat taking flight, he said.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, they had a camera inside the cockpit too.
So you got to watch everything go upside down and sideways?
Oh, yeah, well, it wasn't upside down in your view because the camera was stationary, but all of a sudden there wasn't sky, there was water
Yes.
looking out the glass. And the guys are
And if you're wondering, because it is not the safest of sports,
right.
the old courses used to be a mile long. Now they're 3/4 of a mile long. When they had the mile-long races, drivers could get in excess of 240 miles an hour.
Oh, that sounds just.
There is, in fact, reinforced the cockpits, I'm sure, are built, and underwater diving gear just in case.
Hot dog. Glad
I'm
to
just
hear
trying to think, what it would take for me to try that. Death, I think, would have to.
I would have to be already gone. And
You know,
then you wouldn't even have to strap me in. I'd happily ride along.
You want to put my cadaver in there?
No.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Go nuts. This from Reddit. What's your most embarrassing or funny delivery story? This from Driver 8.
They don't mean children, right?
Correct. Driver 8 takes no breaks. Had a route where a DSP driver and I were going to all the same houses in a subdivision. First stop, he was parked when I arrived, so I ran and passed him right before the door, scanned, snapped, swiped, and yelled, "I win!" We both laughed a little, and then he did the same thing on one of my next stops. Apparently, they drive Rivian vans, and you can't hear them coming. Probably about 70% of the next dozen stops we had in common. And I was kicking his ass because it's easier moving in a car than when you don't have to dig through 30 totes in a truck. Every stop, it got a little more intense, but both of us laughing. He'd run up behind me and knock the package out of my hands. I dragged one of his totes out and left it in front of his van to slow him down and so on. I love this. I love the delivery driver hijinks. Did a few stops with no sign of each other, figured he was long gone. But then when I was pulling in a driveway, I saw him coming down the street, ran to my car, but couldn't get out before he blocked me in with his van. He then proceeded to do the slowest walk to the 3 neighboring stops, laughing and taunting.
He was having fun.
Like he didn't have a GPS signal and didn't know where to go. Had to give him credit. Well played. Was probably the most laughing I've had maybe ever on a block. That's fun stuff. I don't care who you are. That's just fun.
I had to break his kneecaps.
To death.
Well, no, just pain.
Oh, there we go.
And it could be an umpire. 62 years ago, you probably have heard this story.
So like 58 years ago?
Exactly.
Okay.
62 years ago, Audrey Backerberg disappeared from a small city in south central Wisconsin after, yeah,
I remember a story from 60 or so years ago, maybe 58,
you do not.
about a woman named Audrey. I don't?
Dude, you don't remember breakfast half the time.
There's breakfast?
62 years ago, Audrey Brackenberg disappeared from a small town in south central Wisconsin.
I am a bit
After-
peckish.
After after reportedly hitchhiking with her family's babysitter and catching a bus to Indianapolis. Noted hotspot.
Especially
scary
at
part
that
is-
time.
Nobody ever knew where she went or what happened to her.
Okay.
62 years ago. All that changed last week when she was found alive and safe in another state, thanks to the fresh eyes from a deputy who took over the case in February. The detective, Isaac Hansen, discovered an out-of-state arrest record that matched her, which triggered a series of investigative moves that led to her finally being found alive and safe in another state. I've been to Wisconsin, I can understand.
I
Turns
like my
out that-
Scotty brethren and sisterin.
Sure you do. That's the best part of the whole commercial for the Minnesota Lottery,
Oh, yeah?
where they try to explain to us how great it is because all this tax money goes here and here and here and here, but not here when she's standing in front of the Welcome to Wisconsin sign.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you've got to get a look at some of the adverts for Iron Brew from Scotland. They're genius right now.
Turns out she chose to leave the town of Reedsburg on her own accord. He thought it might be due to an abusive husband, but he doesn't know. He did say she's happy, safe, and secure, just kind of lived under the radar for 62 years.
Do we know why?
Not really. She left on her own. The detective thinks some sort of abusive relationship, but
Oh, okay.
we don't know for sure.
Okay.
So in February, Hansen gets the case. They met with the family again to see if the family had any connection with that region, with the arrest record when they found that. Mm-hmm. They also started digging through her sister's Ancestry.com account, pulling census records, obits, marriage licenses, that sort of thing. Within 2 months, they found an address where a woman was living that Hansen said shared a lot of similarities with Brackenberg, including date of birth and social security number. That could be a clue. I'm not a detective, but I'm thinking he was able to get a deputy from that jurisdiction to go to the address. 10 minutes later, Brackenberg, now in her 80s, called him. He said, it happened so fast. I was pretty much expecting the deputy to call me back and say, nobody answered the door.
Yeah.
No, and I thought it was the deputy who was calling me, but it was actually her. And to be honest, it was just a very casual conversation. I could sense that she obviously had reasons for leaving. Most of the information he learned during that call he did not share, thank you, saying it was still important to her that she not be found.
Okay.
I think it overwhelmed her, of course, with the emotions that she had having a deputy show up at her house.
I would imagine.
Hansen described discovering her safe after more than 6 decades as practically unheard of.
Yeah,
Hard to argue.
I would imagine.
He doesn't know what's going to happen next in terms of family reconnecting. He said he was happy that he reached out, or that she can at least reach out if she wants to. So there's still family living here, so she has my contact number if she ever wants to reach out or needs a phone number for somebody. Ultimately, though, she kind of holds all the cards.
I guess she does. Well, it sounds to me like she had a good reason for leaving, and good for her for escaping and making a life.
You know,
I hope
whatever
it's
she was
been-
running from, my first thought is, well, gosh, she was so young.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows?
My hope is her life has been generally good.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
She's
That's
a tougher
amazing.
broad than I am, I got to tell you.
Yeah, you'd make a lousy broad anyway.
In my younger days, I had the legs.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.